Thanks very much, Erin. Thanks very much, everybody, for taking the time out of your busy day to join the webinar. I hope that you're going to find this to be educational and helpful. And as Erin said, please write down any questions that you have, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them for you. So before we start into the presentation, we just want to show you a short video, and it will tell you about us, about the company, and about our organization.
Great. So I'll play that video for you. So just give me 1 second here, and we'll open that up. So can you see my screen there, Judy?
Yes.
Okay.
Looks delicious, doesn't it? Or how about this? We could go on, but we're not the people behind the coffee bean, or the signature fried chicken recipe, or the mouth-watering burger. That's you. You are the cream in the ice cream, and we are the machine. We are the machine that ensures cone 1582 is just as marvelous as cone 1. No matter what the problem, we will have the solution. We're there every step of the way. From ideation to implementation to ongoing support. We've been supplying and supporting industry leaders with the Taylor, Henny Penny, and Frankie brands throughout every major section in the hospitality business. Our success is a result of our focus on 3 key elements: the people, the food, and the experience. We don't consider our job done until your customers are completely satisfied. With over 60 years of experience, we are dedicated to helping our customers succeed. And we have fun doing it.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to hand it back over to you now, and we can get on with the presentation.
Thanks very much, Erin.
Okay, so it should be back in control.
So as the video showed you, we are TFA. My employer is TFI, and we've been supplying the food service, hospitality, and convenience sector for more than 60 years. We're probably best known in the convenience sector for our FCB equipment, which is used by all the market leaders in the country. And as you know, FCB has the highest profit margin of anything in a C-store, bar none. It isn't the same dollar contributor as tobacco, as an example, but in terms of margin, FCB is the king. And what we want to talk about today is how coffee can contribute to the bottom line. The convenience store sector is an extremely mature one, and we know that we're facing margin pressures on established categories like tobacco, as well as competition from places like the dollar store. The provision of high-quality food service can help drive traffic and margins and bring people into our stores. The Convenience Industry Council of Canada reported that in 2019, pumping volume for those stores that offered food service was 27% higher than those that didn't offer food service. And what that tells us is that having food service is a traffic driver. Technomic's Canadian Convenience Store Food Service Report noted that the consumption of food service beverages was flat in 2018. More than half of the respondents reported that their consumption was the same, and more than 30% reported that their consumption was lower. That clearly indicates to us that we have a means to grow the category, grow incidence and profitability. Canada ranks 10th in the world for coffee consumption, even higher than the US. Traditional coffee is the bulk of it. However, espresso-based beverages grew by 10% between 2014 and 2018. That was primarily driven by women by 65% and principally millennials. The average Canadian consumption of coffee is 3.2 cups a day. And coffee in Canada is a $6.2 billion industry, creating an estimate 160,000 jobs per year in shops and cafes. From a retail perspective, coffee sales are forecast to grow from $2.6 billion in 2017 to almost $4 billion in 2021. Still think coffee is stagnant? In 2007, Starbucks had 434 stores in Canada. In 2019, they have 1,175. That's an 18% per year growth during that period. So if we look at the C-store patronage, and this is probably well known to all of us, 52% of 18 to 34-year-olds visit a C-store once a week, and they're much more likely than people who are older than them to consume snacks and beverages from C-stores. This is the cohort that's looking for customization for their coffee. They grew up with iTunes and Starbucks. They're used to having choice, and single-source solutions just isn't going to cut it for them. Personalization of coffee flavors also talks and conveys the impression of freshness and quality. Quality, freshness are key attributes to C-store consumers. So we have a tremendous opportunity to increase food service and prepared food sales within the patronage circle. The Technomic report also indicates that 41% of consumers who visit these stores once a week and 37% of those who surveyed this less often than once a month or never at all. Coffee purchases are 60% once a month. I don't think we need any more indication to show us that we've got lots of room to grow and profit from the category. Speed, quality, cleanliness, and value are the key drivers for purchase. Purchase deterrents are just as important as purchase drivers. In the Technomic survey, 51% had no particular reason that they didn't purchase food service from a C-store. Also, the data indicates that C-store food service is not top of mind for the average consumer. So what that tells us is that in-store and at-pump marketing is really important to convey the presence of the offer. Sampling is also going to help overcome the other deterrents that center around lack of quality, freshness, and value. If we think about all the promotions that McDonald's has run on their coffee, it's to create awareness of the category and the quality and the value in their restaurant. There's no reason to page from the marketer. Because speed of service is really important to the C-store food service customer, it's essential that retailers choose tools and equipment to deliver on that promise. I don't know very many consumers that are going to wait 2.5 minutes for a 24-ounce coffee. Assuring that your equipment can meet peak rather than hourly demand while still maintaining product quality will help make C-stores the destination of choice. If we can improve speed of service over the QSRs, as well as maintain or improve quality, we can become a destination for high-quality food service coffee. While convenient location is the primary driver for convenience occasions, retailers offering unique and or high-quality food service may make consumers travel a little bit out of their way for food service offers. The younger consumer, the key demographic, is much more willing than their older counterparts to say that uniqueness is an important attribute to them. This suggests that the younger consumer, with their general willingness to try new and exciting things, would be willing to try C-store food service. We can't emphasize cleanliness enough. It's perceived as an indicator of freshness, quality, and value. We all want to eat and drink out of clean places. Premium beverages carry an aura of health and functionality, meaning that C-stores can ally their operations with current health trends by highlighting premium teas, coffees, juices, and other beverages. We can have restaurant quality coffee and food service in our stores by the proper execution. Tim Horton says that 20% of the Canadian population use their loyalty program, and 50% of their consumers scan their loyalty card every day. That's 2.5 million Canadians. A loyalty card can be an important factor in building a sizable base for coffee. However, by itself, coffee is unlikely to drive loyalty among consumers. Retailers who can also capture the important attributes of the category, freshness, quality, customization, cleanliness, and speed of service, can provide real competition to QSR coffee and burger chains. Now, it wasn't very long ago that McDonald's coffee was perceived to be awful. McDonald's decided they wanted to change that. They focused on the key attributes, and with an laser attention to operational excellence, has become Canada's #1 choice for coffee by a wide margin, replacing Tim Hortons. What that shows us is that with the right elements and the tools to facilitate execution, a C-store can become a destination in the coffee market. Sourcing and transparency are also important to the Millennial and Gen Z consumer. Retailers can rely on national brands or local roasters to help in communicating these attributes to the consumer. But because price is vital to the C-store consumer, demands for attributes associated with higher price points might be dampened. A way to get around this would be adding a premium brand in addition to the value alternatives to help appeal to consumers who typically purchase the category at a cafe. Fair trade is also going to be important to this consumers as consumer demands more social responsibility. Made-to-order fare offers significant appeals. As we noted previously, customization is a key element in driving incidence, particularly for younger consumers. It conveys the quality of freshness and value, and with the right tools, the C-store retailer can enter into this realm and capture part of the segment. Preparing items on site and to order also speaks to quality, because consumers can see what we're doing. We can also set it up as self-serve, as we're already doing with the FCB category and powdered coffee market. Marketing around freshness could possibly resonate, and guests could possibly be willing to pay prices that look more like restaurant prices, but that's probably not necessary. Pricing the category to cafes and quick service restaurants would still provide retailers with very healthy margins in the vicinity of 70% and allow you to be competitive. Again, making it to order talks about quality and freshness.
Judy?
Yes.
Judy, can you hear
Hi.
me?
I can.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry, it just cut out a little bit there in the last couple of last sentence there. It was jumping in and out.
Oh, sorry about that. So we're talking about made to order speaks to quality and freshness. Are there any questions?
Okay. There doesn't appear to be any yet, but yeah, just a reminder to everyone that please just pop your questions over in that Q&A section, and we'll answer those as we go. Okay.
So, Family Express convenience stores were having problems with their coffee, no matter what they did in terms of a lower cost pricing strategy, different flavors, their coffee sales were declining. So what they decided to do was put an emphasis on specialty coffee as part of their food service offer so that they can change consumer attitudes. With the Frankie Foam Master, they put together an espresso program, and that they took their prices from $99 to $1.19 for a 16-ounce drink and grew their product. Premium coffee can increase coffee revenue by up to 77%. 30% of customers only want specialties like latte, cappuccino, and mocha. Price is really important for the convenience customer, but if we price to the QSR coffee and burger chains, we're still going to be competitive and we're still going to maintain our margins. Millennial and Gen Z customers are aging and growing into the category even more, meaning that we'll be growing the category in the years that go forward.
Judy, we have a question here. So just a personal curiosity, what aspects of the coffee industry, technology-wise, do you feel will be changed, or do you feel will be changed the most in the next decade? And that's from Cody.
Thanks for the question, Cody. So from a technological perspective, the coffee equipment industry has grown in leaps and bounds over the last 10 years, and we see no reason for that to change. As an example, TFI represents the Frankie line of equipment, and Frankie has introduced touch screen and swipe technology. They've also introduced absolutely revolutionary IQ flow extraction. So what that means is that they have maximized the extraction of the coffee, which means they've maximized the flavor. So every consumer is going to get the very best coffee every single time with the IQ flow. They've also improved grinders and speed of service. Does that help?
Yeah, we have another question. This one from Brenda. Judy, I'd like to ask what you think will be the next great thing for hot beverages for the new generations that are coming up.
That's a great question, Brenda. Thanks very much. We're seeing a big resurgence in mochas and hot chocolate. Although kids, young consumers, like if you look at their consumption, for example, of ice caps, so they want coffee that doesn't taste like coffee, which is why we see that lattes and cappuccinos are more popular than just straight brewed espresso. So I think we're going to see more flavored espresso-based beverages as the category grows.
Okay, that's it for questions for now. So.
Okay. Well, and you
actually, sorry, Judy, one more. Sorry about that. And I think you kind of just answered this, but Brenda's also added to her question, are there any new flavors being developed, fruit flavors or anything like that?
Actually, what we're seeing in certain market segments is the popularity of chai. There are certain demographics that particularly like that, and we have found a vendor that has an extremely high-quality chai powder that we can have in our Frankie coffee machine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We have another question here. I'm not sure of the name, but it's somebody from Parkland. What is the difference when someone served like Tim Hortons and in C-store customer makes their coffee? So I think the question's asking is there a difference in the level of service, or you know, how do you serve? What are the differences in serving coffee between a C-store and somewhere like Tim Hortons?
That's a great question. Thanks very much. So if we take a look at a place like Tim Hortons, it's behind the counter, or it's at drive-through. So think about how long you sit in a drive-through or stand at the counter for Tim Hortons. Canadians seem to be willing to do it. They spend up to 3 minutes, what studies have told us, in the drive-through to get a Tim Hortons coffee. By putting a Frankie machine in your store, it is a touch screen interface. So the consumer will be self-serve, and in 40 seconds, they can have a 16-ounce coffee customized to their point. So you can be in and out of the store in under a minute. The other benefit about getting them into the store is that hopefully they'll purchase something to go along with the coffee, boosting the revenue of the occasion even more.
Okay, great. That's it for questions for now.
Okay. And we're nearly near the end of the presentation. We didn't want to overload people with information. We're readily accessible, so you can contact us to ask any questions. But I think what we're all seeing here is that consumer demand is evolving really quickly. And as C-store operators, we need to be responsive. They've got the expectation of freshness, quality, and personalization. And we've got a huge amount of room to grow the food service category to increase incidence, traffic, and profits. We need to tell our story. We need to let our consumers know that we can have the highest quality product, better in fact than Tim Hortons, and drive people into our stores to buy the category. McDonald's has proven that with the right tools and the right operations, you can overturn the market leader if you're really determined to secure a part of the category. There is no reason that C-stores can't do this as well and get a piece of the vast Canadian coffee market. Let me know if you have any questions, and I thank you for your time.
There doesn't appear to be any questions yet, but I actually have a question, and that was a great presentation. Thank you. I learned a lot about the coffee industry from that. One question I have, just from a consumer standpoint, is, you know, and forgive me for saying this, but often, you know, convenience store coffee comes with a negative reputation. It's not always, you know, the first choice for people to go and buy a cup of coffee. So from a marketing perspective, do you have any sort of thoughts or ideas on how a convenience store owner might overcome that?
That's a really good question, Aaron. And it is not just in-store and at-the-pump marketing, but what's really important is sampling. Think about when you go to Costco. There are people sampling foods all over the store. Why do they do that? Because they get people to overcome concerns about quality. It also creates impulse purchases. So what we can do with the Frankie equipment, every single cup is ground fresh to order. So we need to sample to the customers to overcome perceptions of poor quality and poor value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's great, and you're absolutely right. Like you know, those bigger stores that offer samples, that's a great way to overcome perception of different products. So that's great. Okay, are there any other questions that anyone has? Brenda's just made a comment. Thank you, Judy. Fabulous presentation. We do have another question here. How would you set up a sampling for a C-store? Would a Frankie rep attend?
We can certainly help with doing that for a sampling alternative. We can do it both in-store and at the pumps, because we know that most purchases are at the pump for people that have gas. However, we can do it in-store as an intercept.
Okay, great. It looks like that might be it for questions. Actually, sorry, one more. What about during C-store? It'd be great setting for sampling of many products.
I think that was a comment that using C-store week as a vehicle to promote sampling. Is that correct?
Possibly, yeah. It's just, yes, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's a wonderful idea, particularly with the traffic that we get going during C-store week. Thank you for that recommendation. Great.
Yes, it was C-store week. Okay. Okay, I think that is it for questions. Let me just check here. Yeah, we are all good for questions. So, yeah, on behalf of Convenience and Car Wash, I'd just like to thank you, Judy, for going through that wonderful presentation. I noticed there are a few people that jumped on sort of towards the end there. We are going to upload this presentation onto the Convenience and Car Wash website. So for those of you who missed out on seeing it live, you will have the opportunity to visit that on the Convenience and Car Wash website. So we'll also include your contact details on there, Judy, too, just in case anyone has any questions. But thank you for the presentation.
Thanks very much for your help, Aaron. Thank you, everybody who participated. And as Aaron said, feel free to reach out to us with any questions that you might want to have. Have a good day.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye now.